for fast, cheap, and reliable Madden 21 Ultimate Team coins. Make sure you guys go check out my sponsor, Easy Mutt. Use code VENOM at checkout for 5% off. Yo, what's good guys, I'm Fire here back from the video, and today me bring you guys another run defense. In this video, I'm going to show you guys how to shoot probably the most popular run, if not one of the most popular runs and halfback dives in Madden 21 out of the strong close formation. Very popular offense. It's not as good as bunch and trips in my opinion because you can use or rush it pretty easily, but it's still really good, really difficult to stop, and overall good offense. Again, we're going to focus in on that halfback dive, how to stop that. I got a really good defense for that. Going to go over some of the run defense adjustments. Then later, maybe we hop into some of the pass defense things you can do while running the actual run defense setup. Also, before we get into the video, make sure you guys do hit that subscribe button. We're on the road to 15,000 subscribers. So if you're new, you're enjoying the videos, hit that sub button. Also, follow me on Twitter down below. Link will be in the description. But yeah, so overall, for some basic things, you can set your curl flats to 10. Now, I'm not exactly sure if we're going to use that at all, but if I were to adjust my curl flats, I would probably put that at around 10 yards. Now, the formation we're running it out of is going to be 3-3-5 wide. We're going to be running the audible system, so we're going to audible from nickel 3-3-5 to 3-3-5 wide. Again, 4-6 defensive playbook. So out of this, you can go ahead and get safeties at linebacker if you choose to. Just taking a look. The Dolphins don't really have anybody. We're going to be using this dude right here. He's not exactly that athletic, but he's a pretty good job. When I was labbing this defense, he did get a couple of hit six off, so he's not terrible. Yeah, and then just get some fast guys on the outside. Jerome Baker, I believe, is pretty fast, so we're just going to be rocking with him today. But yeah, overall, let's go ahead and get into it. Now, the play you're going to run out of 3-3-5 wide is actually going to be this two-man under. Just stock cover two-man right there at the top, cover two-man. And yeah, so we're going to come out in basically anything. I like to just come out and cover two usually, and then audible. It doesn't really matter. You can also go ahead and leave auto flip on if you choose to. But again, just going to run the stock halfback dive. Now, when dissecting halfback dive, and this one in particular, there's really one issue with it, and it's going to be Kyle Juszczyk. Now, the block that he picks up, the reason that this is so hard to gap shoot is because of that fullback. He really just shoots it. So if I just set up like a stock, I'm just going to run it relatively stock without all the adjustments that we're actually going to do and show you what it looks like. So basically, the first things you're going to do is shift to the right, and you're going to slant to the right. Then you're going to press, and then you would typically just be using this player right here and kind of stand right about here. I would like to put him on a blitz. I'll show you what happens if you try to shoot the gap. Now, this can work occasionally. You can get it to work, but you're just going to end up shooting through the gap. And you see it actually did work relatively well. Now, I might set that up quickly just a couple more times to show you that it doesn't work every single time. And even if it does work both times, just trust me, when I was labbing this, it was not working every single time. So again, just relatively stock. You're just going to stand here, put your user on a blitz, wait for the ball to be snapped, and boom. So there you see Kyle Juszczyk picks up the block. Jerome Baker comes off the edge though, which is again kind of what you want. It's going to kind of contribute to what we're doing, and you'll see Jerome Baker is going to make an impact off the edge. So even a slower linebacker is able to put in that work. But yeah, basically you saw there my user did get blocked by Kyle Juszczyk up the middle, and that's the real issue with this. We're going to create basically some distractions to Kyle Juszczyk, and that's going to be our next adjustment. So again, just to audible, if you didn't know, you're just going to press X or square, D-pad to the left, and then in our case L1. If you want, you can put it at X for a quicker audible to where you just press X, D-pad, and then X again, but it doesn't really matter. It saves a microscopic amount of time. So anyways, hopping back in, so again, the first steps to our adjustments was to shift to that strong side, which is going to be the right or the tight end side, depending on if this was flipped. Then you're just going to slant to that same side that you just shifted to. In our case, we're going to shift to the right. Then you just want to press your defensive backs Y or triangle and down on that left stick. Now we got a couple of other adjustments that we're going to do. Now, typically what I like to do, and this is more so just to take precautions against the passing game. When I'd like to put my user on a blitz, where obviously if they were to pass the ball, Kyle Juszczyk is a favorable target. He's going to be on a flat almost every single time out of the strong close formation. So we obviously need to take account for that. I could either hard flat on that right side, or I could just man him up. Usually what I'll do is just go with some man coverage on that right side. So I'm just going to double tap my D-pad to the right, press A for that outside linebacker, flick my right stick up, and then press R1 to man up Kyle Juszczyk. This also causes, I think, a little bit of distraction in the blocking game. He kind of recognizes who's manned up on him. We do have some extra help for that. So the next thing and the last thing we're going to go ahead and do here is actually spy one of our safeties. Now this is just an extra last safety precaution, but you see it is pretty consistent. Just kind of running this without the spied safety, but if you want to guarantee it works, 90% of the time, basically you're just going to spy the safety that's on that strong side again. So in our case, it's going to be, what's his face, Eric Rowe here. So we're going to just put him on a QB spy. You don't have to move him anywhere. You can just leave him at that strong safety spot. Now, if I was running this, I could either put Y in a inside third, McCain here, or I could actually leave him on a deep half. Again, it just depends on the way he's running strong close. But for now, we'll just throw him in like an inside third. But yeah, overall, this is going to do it for the run defense. I know it's a lot of steps. I do recommend you guys go try this out. But yeah, let's just run it a couple times. I'll show you guys how it works very effectively. And there you see, Juice Check picks us up. But again, it is Jerome Baker coming off the edge and making the plays. A very important part of this run defense. Again, setting it up the exact same way. Just press, shift, slant, and then go ahead, QB spy. And then just kind of alternate that man coverage as a last second thing with your outside linebacker on the right side to that fullback. Again, stand right here and wait for the ball to be snapped. Now, this is the other option. This is the option that you want pretty much every single time, and that I believe you should get the majority of the time. Now, it obviously depends if Juice Check's going to make the block or not. But yeah, really, what Juice Check is looking at here is going to be our spied safety. That's the only guy he's looking at. From his perspective, you'll see McCain's going to come down, sprint right into the box, and that's kind of who he's going to follow, really. He's just kind of deciding between us and the safety. Usually it's a 50-50 shot. Now, sometimes, occasionally, you will see a little bit of an issue where Baker will stand like this. Usually that will only happen where your user is able to get through that gap and he doesn't get picked up by the fullback, I think. But yeah, you see, just able to shoot through that gap. Also, we did end up getting a shed. Sometimes you get some stuff from all these guys over here. There's just a lot of potential. And again, you see, usually it'll be you or Baker. Even if we don't get there and he has to cut it back, we'll probably be clogging that hole, and Baker will make the tackle if he tries to cut it back. But again, I'll just show it a couple more times and we'll hop into some of those, again, pass coverage options. Again, shift, slant, press, spy L1, man up A on RB, and blitz your user. Again, as far as those backside adjustments, we'll talk about some of the things that you could do a little bit later. Now, as far as kind of replicating this out of a zone coverage standpoint, I'm not too fond of doing that. Just because if you try to spy a safety out of zone coverage, they actually don't rush immediately. But as you saw that time, it was actually McCain or Eric Rowe, excuse me. He was actually almost down in the box in the spot where you want to run with your user. Again, Baker does make that play, even though our user gets tackled. So again, it does make a pretty big difference. That spied safety really just allows you to sometimes get that gap shoot by yourself. But even if I don't spy him, if I'm forced to, put both safeties in coverage, you should go ahead and be able to shoot that gap. If not, sometimes Baker does get through. Again, you see this time both of us. That time I didn't spy my safeties. Really, spying your safeties is just an extra safety precaution. But yeah, let's hop into some of the other zone coverage options. Like I mentioned earlier, instead of going with man coverage, I could throw A in a zone. If I were to do that, pretty much what I would want to do over here is probably man up the safety on Kyle Juszczyk. So I'd man up Eric Rowe on him, and then I would throw Y in a little inside third, like this. Now, here's not terrible coverage. I do think for the run defense, you have to have those stock three-man rushing. So I can't throw one of these defensive linemen in like a bluff blitz. I don't think. We'll actually lab it here just to see, but I don't think it would work. And yeah, you see the blocks. We end up getting a shed. But yeah, so obviously if you put extra people in coverage, you take away a spy, things like that, you're not going to get the 90% chance of it working. 100%. They haven't broke a run past, 2 yards. But overall, it's just going to hurt the more people you take away from the run defense. And again, really, it should be relatively easy. You can kind of set things up. If you see him motion, if you see him hot routing, then you can kind of adjust out of this two-man under. I can go with something like this pretty easy, and then I just hop on this guy to user. So if I see him making hot routes, I'm stuck in that cover two-man. I could easily run something like this and simply adjust out of it. But yeah, overall, it should be pretty easy. You recognize if he's running on first down. Again, out of strong close, your first and relatively only issue in the beginning of the game is going to be to stop the run. You want to make him pass. You want to start seeing his setups, figure out how to stop that. And again, people aren't super patient with the run game. So if you blow this up 2-3 times in the backfield, you hit stick him, he's worried about fumbling, things like that. He's not going to be as reluctant, or he's going to be more reluctant to continue to run the football. But again, you guys should know some good setups just out of this cover 2 man, something like this. Just overall, pretty good setup. If I were to use one of the guys in man coverage, it would probably be Baker here. Just because the running back's not always on a route. But yeah, so again, even if I try to like shoot the gap, you'll see it's not really going to work too well. Again, the left tackle is going to pick me up, and you see just one misstep out of this is really, it just really can cause you this run to take it to the house, especially out of a kind of heavier run defensive set. Like a 3-3-5 wide where you press, there's a lot of guys in the box. There's a lot of guys shifted to the strong side, a simple cutback, juke move. And you could be in some real issues. But one more time, I'll just show you guys the run defense again. Press, shift, slant, man up A on RB, blitz your user, and spy LB. With Y, you can just throw him in an inside third. And overall, this isn't terrible coverage. Now, you'll know if they're passing the ball every play. You won't have to go with this. But against like more of a runner type player, they're going to be running this. I form close, and I do believe this is pretty solid against other formations. It's just extra good against something like a strong close. But yeah, it's going to go ahead and do it for the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure you go ahead, hit that subscribe button, hit that thumbs up if you want more of these videos. And yeah, follow me on Twitter. Link will be down below in the description. And peace. I'm out of here.